All right. Welcome to Chat with Chad tonight. I really appreciate you coming. And I've got a fun show tonight. I am the only guest on here that I can see or the host here. I didn't have anybody showing up. And I'm pulling up my thing so I can see everybody's comments that I can't see on StreamYard. So I'm hoping to see who you are. And this is a live show. I want your participation. I love the participation. Um, it helped fuel it. I really would like someone to come on. I believe if you go to my post yesterday, there's a link um, to get on the show. Um, I, but either way, let's get into what tonight is about: the who, not how. And so it's an impactful book. If you haven't read the Who Not How book, I would strongly suggest that you go to it. It is done by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. It is a book that I think in the early parts, it's been a while since I read it. So when I thought about doing the Who Not Why tonight or How tonight, was I started just researching. What are some cliff notes about the book, and I found this awesome website. It literally is going to be the show tonight. I'm going to go through the five key lessons and then some of the quotes that are really good to help you start thinking of are you really successfully using the who and not the how to be able to build a better business? And so that's what we're here about. The chat with Chad is about how to build a better business. I'm all about how to help people building a better business, and this is my contribution to the world to hopefully, that I can give you a little insight on what you could be doing that maybe you're not doing. And tonight is the who, not how. So let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to read it. I'm not going to pull up on it. You're just going to see me. I'm going to read it through. So the five lessons from the who, not how. Number one, the power of collaboration. And so I wasn't going to read the whole paragraph about it, but I think on this one I'm going to read it. The book emphasizes successful individuals. It emphasizes that successful individuals and organizations understand the importance of collaborate efforts. It emphasizes the need of surrounding oneself with the right people and build a strong network of experts who can help achieve goals. And so on this one alone, power of collaboration, learning from other people. Um, I flat out. I mean, it's there's no some people who may be new to Chat with Chat or Chipping World, maybe not know that I built almost pretty much a $4 million company with nobody know who I was in the industry. Very few people knew Chad Murray. A lot of people knew who Master Services was, but didn't know the people behind it or me. And I came to a conclusion one day after helping a bunch of friends with their business after I had already stepped out of the day to day at Master Services. I was helping other people for free, giving advice when they'd call to ask me what they would do with their business. And one day I decided to figure out what that meant for me in my life, and I went out and paid the education, became got in a couple of coaching organizations, became a business coach, won the rookie national coach of the year. Well, that was the start of what I had no idea it was coming. So I decided, back in 2019, I went to I bought a booth and for the NCSG convention, the one that's coming up uh, this March 19th to the 23rd in Orlando. So I bought a booth. Well, I also went and called Marshall Peters and I said, "Listen, I have an idea." I said, "I in my coaching certification, and I've been starting to do mastermind table, round tables, and I really want to do one for the industry, if not a couple. Is there a way to do it?" He's at first he's like, "No, I have no more room at the convention. There's nowhere to do it." And I said, "Well, let me tell you what it really is." And I told him what it was. By the time I got done after 10 minutes, he was blown away. He goes, "Yeah, we need that. We need to figure that out." So if you if you were part of it or were there or anything else, you'll know that at the convention in Philadelphia, where we do it at up there at that casino, he just put me at the bottom of the stairs. We set up a round table, put some, but I said this: I don't want to just have participation with just the people that are at the tables. I want the audience. I want the rest of the industry who wants to sit down and watch to gain whatever we do during this roundtable. So I did. This is where I start coming into the who. So at that at that table, my first roundtable for businesses that were over $1 million, I had Mike Vasey, Tom Osceola. I'm trying to think who else I had in there. And I had a couple other companies that are all over $1 million, and I started coaching all these companies, and now I've just become excellent friends. Some of Mike Fasey's way surpassed me with his door business, uh, and and it's just becoming a juggernaut in this industry. And some other people have too. So here we go. We have I don't know who this is, and I can't see it. So the mastermind was the reason I went to the event. That's where we met. Great roundtable. I don't know if that's Mike or who that is, or Tom. Maybe someone else, because there's a couple other people that are in there that right now. I'm sorry, I can't remember everyone who was in that first deal, but yeah. And so it starts to become the who. What? So all of a sudden, nobody knows me. It is Mike. So it is Mike. So yeah. Um, and nobody knew who I was, but everybody now is a little bit curious to who Chad Murray is. But even more, I was curious to find out who people are in the industry. And all of a sudden, Mike tells me, "Hey, you need to meet Alan Rush." And I'm like, "Who's Alan Rush?" I mean, and all of a sudden, he goes, and another, a couple weeks later, he goes, "Do you need to meet Mark Stoner?" And believe it or not, in 2019, I went, "Who's Mark Stoner?" I had no idea. I mean, and hence all of a sudden it's like uh I then start meeting people, I start going to different things, and next thing you know, I start knowing all these people, and now I have the thing that I have resources to start asking questions to companies that have broached the $4 or $5 million mark, and how to start building a company that can do that. And I got to tell you, I mean, it has made the biggest difference in my world to be able to pick up the phone and call one of these guys, and ask a few questions. Of course, we have these chat with Chads. You got Surefire last night, which I think Mark didn't have because he was at something big. But anyway, you have all these resources just for free on these to start learning from. But I will tell you the who to you can start getting to know to change your business and become friends. I don't think enough people reach out to me, and ask me about me and don't want to talk to me because you think I'm a paid, I'm only a coach, so I'm only paid. Well, that's bullshit. I'll talk to anybody. I'll help anybody. You don't have to get on a weekly thing to call and ask me. I do have people that do call and ask me questions, and I don't even try to sell them coaching. That's not what my point is. If you want coaching, you'll ask me about coaching. But if you have questions, I mean, everyone in Chimney World that where this is airing, go to Messenger and message me if you have questions, or you just want to talk about something. I'm there. And so let's move on. So I mean, collaboration, of people and getting to know people was a big turning point for me. And almost everybody who was above me has the same story. There's a common denominator on people who build over $5 billion businesses, and I'll tell you, it's that they collaborated with people who are smarter than them, who had already been there. I mean, that is something that is overrated or underrated for people that don't know any better, and that's what the message I'm really trying to say is that, that's why the who, not how, is our topic today. So let's get to number two key lesson: the importance on focusing on outcomes. Who Not How highlights the significance of focusing on the end result rather than getting bogged down by the details of how to achieve it. Isn't that massive? Everybody, I mean, will always say, something to the fact of, you know, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? And they get paralysis of the mind and can't start something because they're so worried about, you know, the details of how to achieve it. And so, uh, and to finish out this the importance of focusing on outcomes. By delegating tasks to the right people, individuals can free up their time and energy to focus on strategy, decision making, and high level responsibilities. Okay. I mean, right there. I literally, today is my big coaching day, and I coach 7 companies. today. Pretty much hour after hour, take a 15, 20-minute break, and I'm on with another company. And I bet you today alone, I talked about delegating with four of the companies. It's just, you got to delegate. I mean, and you have to, not only do you have to delegate, if you start hiring managers, they have to learn to delegate. So if you get a manager, let's just talk a sales manager, and I've had bad sales managers in the past that do this. If they are doing everything for their salesmen, like helping with the quotes all the time and not and letting them not think about it themselves, well, you really have one salesman with a bunch of cronies out there doing the hard work while one guy's selling everybody. And when you lose your sales manager that's doing that, all of a sudden nobody knows what the hell they're doing. It's happened to me. It's more than once, and because I didn't manage that person right to learn to delegate. And so I'm good at delegating, but you have to make sure everyone that is in the management role delegates. Because if they don't, they become the bottleneck. And then when you finally figure out that they're not the right person for you because they're not getting what you're teaching them to do, then you got to do it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Overcoming the superhero syndrome. The book addresses the tendency of many individuals to believe that they have to be the sole drivers of success. It highlights the importance of letting go of a superhero mentality and embracing a mindset of collaboration and delegation to maximize efficiency and productivity. One person can only do so much. And it's as easy as go like this. These two hands and this one head can only do so much. But if I add one other person, now I have four hands and two heads. If I add five people, I now have 10, 10 hands and five heads, right? And so there is something to that, right? I mean, and you can achieve so much more when you do it. So I'll tell you. So I have a client today who who's ready to hire, and uh, but he said he's going to wait till April or May. And I went, okay. And he doesn't have a superhero syndrome, but I was just going to say this. It kind of got to me about, embracing collaboration and delegation to maximize efficiency and productivity. Well, all he's thinking about is I'm going to wait until April or May to hire so that this guy's ready to go come. Well, maybe by summer, so that when everyone starts vacations, they'll have that. And I said, okay, well, let's think about this. Let's put the number to what is it going to take to hire somebody right now, and let's find out. Let's see what that number is in your head, really, because you probably never actually calculated it out on a calculator. And we came up to the number. It was 18 grand for 4 months to hire someone, and I'm like, 18 grand. So let me see this. Let's talk about this. So we give an apprentice for sales, sweep sales, to your best guy who's going to train him. Now, all of a sudden, the best guy who's already doing good right now already now has help. His sales are going to get better because also he's pinpoint focusing on how to train a guy, so he's going to be a little bit better than normal, probably. Hopefully, if he's a good guy, he will. And now he's probably going to sell more than $18,000 in the next 4 months. So why would you not hire the person now? Aha moment. It's like, okay, 18 grand, but if the guy sells one or two jobs with all the jobs that everyone's starting to do now. Yeah, it's not a big deal. And so I think he's going to be pulling the trigger. So that was really good. I helped out with that. So let's go to the next one. Number 5, last point. The power of asking for help. Not all us A types, D types that are here asking for help. Really, me? Who, not how, highlights the importance of asking for help when needed. It encourages individuals to recognize the limitations and seek support from others who have the skills and knowledge necessary to overcome challenges and achieve success. By recognizing the value of collaboration, individuals can leverage the abilities of others to reach their goals. It's so true. Um, and that's already what I was just saying. So, uh, I mean, it, when you're scaling a company, or I'll even say this, you're not even trying to scale the company, you're just trying to get your company to run smoothly. You're not even trying to scale. You're just trying to build a better business so that maybe you can earn some freedom and get some freedom out there to a point where the company's not relying on you so much. Well, how are you going to do that? Obviously, delegation. You're going to have to delegate, right? You're gonna have to hire new people, and you have to teach them to delegate. I mean, and that all comes back down to the who is not good. So where I would tell you to start. So I just kind of gave it away what I was going to say next. What do you do when you're going to first go hire somebody and you know you need a who? They'll figure out the why later, but you know you need a who. I need a new sales manager. I need a new COO. I just need a manager, and maybe I just need another salesperson, another technician. I don't know. But what are you going to do? You're going to go find someone and you're going to seek out person who is smarter than you are, that has done it before, who is bigger and better than we are. And that's mainly management and hope, because you're not going to typically find that in a technician app and stuff. Hopefully you'll find someone that's got good work ethic and all that. When we talk about management, so I went out and hired Terry, my COO. Um, uh, Definitely a big move, big salary, like big salary, like pretty much took my GM that I had, gave him a monster raise, equaled the COO that we brought in, and now all of a sudden I've got this 100 and some plus, and it's over 100 salary added to my thing, and he's not a revenue producer, and he's supposed to fix the business, not fix, but you know what I mean, make the business better and pay for his salary, because let's face it, this 100 and let's just say 25 ish new salary that has never been on my books before. I had to trust this guy's going to come in here and a minimum pay for himself, right? Like this is now we're talking who, not how, because I had to trust the fact that Mark Stoner has done it. I've seen some other people who have done it, who they went and found. By the way, it was Kent Wesley who found me the CEO. If you're looking to hire a high level CEO or high level management general manager, Kent Wesley at Ashbusters is the one that you could call, and he'll charge you to do it, but he'll take care of the whole process and deliver you a couple apps that he's already vetted, that you just literally got to see if you like the people and hire one of them, take a pick. And so it was a great process. I highly recommend it, because who better to know who to hire than a guy who's running Mark Stoner's 10 million, $12 million company, that got help him break the hump. That guy. He's the one that I found. He helped me find a guy. And so far it's working out. Oh boy, is it working out. We had some bumpy roads, but it's working out. And I found the who. I found a who. The why was, or the how, I didn't even give a shit. I didn't care about the how. The how was just don't kill my culture, give me better products or processes and better people, and find those and train them and go from there. I don't. So if you didn't know this, like I kind of said, I don't even have an office at Master Services. I don't go there. Today, there were some funny things going on in our accelerator group, Surefire Accelerator, that we have. I guess you'd call it a mixed group. We didn't start out being called the mixed group, but we've become one, and it's awesome. The people there are great. There's a lot of who's in here that I am starting to adore and love, and I hope that they would say the same about me. I'm learning a lot from them, and hopefully they're learning from me. But we are growing as a group. If you want to get into an accelerator thing whenever they start another one, I would jump on it in a second. The next time Surefire starts something like this, you better get in it, because I promise you it's going to be well worth it. So anyway, um, there was a little video put out there about a guy's company, and I'll just leave names out of it just because. And it was about his process, or I mean about his place. And it was awesome. It just blew everybody away. Course, I had been there, and it's pretty cool. And then we had another guy send this other little video of a shack. It was hilarious. But you start getting to this point of these who's start adding up, and you start getting all this more information. And it's funny how people start sharing their wins and losses and questions, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm experiencing that. I feel exactly like that, or I need that help with that. And it's not just like, there's a different twins to being coached than when you're in a mixed group. So it's two different things. And so I actually coach a few people that are in mixed groups. And I'm like the intimate together thing. When you're in a mixed group, you're kind of getting coached by everybody's response and helping you get to a result that you're trying to find. And you're finding out what's successful for other people and doing it. Like we have a commercial ad coming out, and come to find out, I'll tell you this is a funny story. So there's this media buyer that was given to us by one of the guys in the groups, one of the awesome guys, uh, gives us this media buyer. Well, I get with the media buyer, talk to her. She sends me over the contract, and the contract has another mixed groups guy's name at the bottom, which says Master Services. It was hilarious. So I called up this guy and I'm like, "Hey, I didn't know you're taking commercials." He goes, "Yeah, it comes out next couple weeks, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Well," and he goes, "How'd you know?" And I'm like, "Well, your contract says Master Services that I hired her as well." And he laughed. Well, then I find out today there's two other people that have hired her as well, and now there's a thread on our thing on Voxer about this woman. She's awesome. And so, but here we are. I'm advancing our company. All of a sudden, I know of 4 or 5 chimney companies that are now doing commercials. And so, I mean, who knew? I mean, and so, but anyway, let's move on. So, 30 best who, not how quotes. I don't know if we'll get through 30 of them, and a lot of them are going to be pretty close to each other. But let's just play a game. Let's have some fun. And so, Um, I didn't have any who's today come on for me, so you got to deal with me alone tonight again. And so, by the way, let's talk about last week. I had so much co- people call me and text me about last week's episode about technology and aliens and robots and the night we had. It was if you haven't watched Chow Chat last week, I suggest you go back it up on Chimney World or even go to YouTube. I think I put it on YouTube. I've been lazy about putting it on YouTube, and I might even put it in my podcast. Go listen to it. It was a fun episode. It was really funny. It's funny how many people got a kick out of it, but got a good. Yeah, it was a good stories about all the AI and stuff. So it was a fun time. So let's get into some famous or some best quotes. Success is not about finding the right strategy. It's about finding the right person. So kind of breaking that down a little bit. Success. So what they're kind of saying is you can build a system and the system doesn't get worked. System's shit. It might be the best system in the world, but any system's shit if it's not being done right. So what what Lauren, I'll get there in a second. Okay. Success is not about finding the right strategy, it's about the right person. So if you build a crappy system and no one does it, the system doesn't mean anything. So if you find the right person, they're going to do the right systems, and that's where it's about the who, not how. All right, so here we go. Lauren, what's the quote behind you say? It says, in order to become the 1%, you must do what the other 99% won't. I am living proof of that by building my chimney company. I did marketing, managed the place, uh, and new systems. I did that all on my own after 5 o'clock. I literally built and did marketing for my own company for years, my own SEO, my own ads, everything. And I was doing stuff that only 1% of people would do in their business back when the internet first came out. Because, guys, that's how old I am. And so I'm 52, but I started my business in 97. Google really became in existence in 99. And the internet was really starting to burst out. I was the first website in Dallas Fort Worth for sure, probably Texas for chimneys, maybe not, but definitely here. And I was doing AdWords. I mean, AdWords was their signature product when Google first came out, and I got trained to do AdWords from Google. Literally trained me to do it back then. And they called me. They solicited me. And so way back in 99. And so I've learned how to market just because I would do what, 1% what no one else would do. And so, I mean, and that's when it comes to also building, a business. I mean, you have to realize you're going to have to do 1%, which is everything that the other 99% people won't do. And so, and so, yes, I love that. Thank you. And I was in elementary school. Yeah, yeah, I'm old. And so, okay, let's go to the next quote. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the people. Oh, you have it. And I want to cry. I want to cry from reading that. I'm going to read that again. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the people you have in it. Who are you surrounding yourself by? I mean, who is it? Who makes you better? If they're not making you better, then stop hanging around them. If your people in your business aren't making your business better, why do you have them working for you? Are you handcuffed? Take the freaking handcuffs off and figure it out and get rid of the people you know shouldn't be working for you. It's the who's, but you got to figure out the how to get rid of it so you can have better who's. You got to get there. Because I promise you, I didn't really plan on going on a bad apple speech tonight, but people are handcuffed all the time by having shitty employees, but these shitty employees have the best skills. How do I run the business without them? They've been here since whatever. Figure it out. Take a risk. Get rid of them. Start training someone, hopefully, that can do it to where you can do an easy transition. But I'll tell you, if you cut the cord, you're gonna make it and you'll figure it out. I've been there. I was there last summer, and so I totally get it. So that quality of life. So I'll tell you a personal story. Um, my dad and I personally have a great relationship. My dad and I do not have a very good relationship when it comes to our family. And I just went through the last 3 months without talking to him. And I did bring it. I did call him on the way to Houston last weekend, and we chit chatted. But it's a very sore subject. To sum it up very easily, it's a choose my stepmother or me, my family over it type of stuff. And my stepmother, without getting into it, is never liked me. Yeah, as a child. And the long story short is um, quite frankly, she as even as an elderly person at this age, she needs to grow up. And there's a point where we have I had to choose the who is toxic in my life and take them out of it. And I we choose not to have her in our family over here, and it's been very rough for my dad, but I had to choose that. And I had to choose for my daughters and my wife and my me and my grandkids and my future grandkids that we're not gonna have a relationship with someone who's this toxic. So I've had to make the who not how, or the who's and the bad apples in my family. Unfortunately, we got to that point. So let's see here. This quote is my favorite. I live by this. In all aspects of my life, my husband, my friends, and my jobs, I've been lucky with that aspect. Well, you are. And you are one of the sweetest people I've ever met. And I enjoy hanging out with you when we see each other, Lauren. And so anyway, it's funny when you hear, if you're not a happy person, you are generally not happy because of your surroundings. And you don't know how to change your surroundings. And your surroundings, as I'm talking about, is the people that you are surrounded by. And when you make the switch and you get the cognizance in your own mind that you're going to figure this out, it will start happening fast. But you have to take out some things of your life that you are maybe super uncomfortable with. And unfortunately, you have to do it, and it'll still hurt. Like, it still hurts. I mean, I have talked to my dad twice since then, but it's still estranged because when Christmas or when the holidays come, he's probably gonna stop talking to me again because he knows how painful it is because she can't come over. It is what it is, right? So let's move on. But the quality of life is big. Next quote. Instead of asking, how can I do this? Ask who can help me do this. So what's funny about that is, let's just not even talk about the who's you don't have. Let's talk about the who's you do have. A lot of times when you're building systems, or let's just say you're just trying to solve a problem at work. And what is all of us owners' natural instinct? Fix the problem. Fix the problem. But what if you went to the mindset of who can help me fix this problem? Now just think about what I just said. Now you got other people helping you fix the problem, and guess what? That problem probably get fixed better than if you did it yourself. If you're like me back when I managed the company, Mr. Sergeant Chad Murray, Sergeant Carter, they used to call me at times, and it was essentially I made a mistake and said I'm sorry later, and then we came to the right decision. But had I asked the who can help me do this, that who could help me do this would have probably been the better way to do it, and we could have accomplished it. Everybody around us would have felt like they helped with the solution, and now everybody wants to create or keep the solution going because they were part of the solution. See how that all comes full circle? I mean, it is a really good simple thing is who can help me do this, not how can I do this. All right, let's go to the most I gotta kind of move around here. My back is a little sore tonight. And so, probably because I slept really good last night. I'm not used to sleeping as good as I did last night. All right. The most successful people are not the most self reliant, they are the most resourceful. That is so good. Ugh. Who knows how to find who, right? I mean, that's what that comes down to. Successful people hire more successful people at whatever the problem is that they need to solve in that position. And so that's what it is. Let's see what Carol has to say. Six painting chimneys in, I believe, North Virginia. Um, that's probably the one area we struggle with figuring out at what point to stop training and let someone go. But but I did just let someone go in January. You talk about canning someone and firing them. Yeah, it's hard because you feel handcuffed because they've probably been with you a while, and you feel like, how's the business going to survive? Who's going to do that? We're going to lose sales. I mean, I have many times actually. We've had such a turnover in our sales department, and mainly because I'm pretty rough on the guys back then, because we do and we still do today, uh in a better way. We hold them to a standard of you're going to have an SPO of this, and you're going to have this much sales, and this is what you're going to do. If you don't meet these goals, well, goodbye. you know or they go start their own business and they fail. And so that happens too. And so, all right, let's go to the next one. Collaboration is the key to unlocking exponential growth. Kind of getting into the same thing. Surround yourself with people who believe, oh, this is a good one, who believe in your vision and they will help you bring it to life. So there's a thing about talking about people. I when I coach people, we'll finally get into a point where you're going to do a customer survey, and it's all I hate doing them, and it's because I'm always scared of the result, but we still do them, and actually, Master Services is 2 for 1. We need to do I'm not, I said customer, I'm an employee survey. You need to do an employee survey, and there's and you need to be, and the deal is you have to have real hard questions. They cannot be softball questions. Hey, do you like our manager? Hey, do you think everything's going okay? No, you got to get specific. So, what I would start with, what do you like our new COO? That's question one. Yes or no? Scale of whatever, 1 to 10, really. So we always do a scale. So it's not a yes or no. Scale of 1 to 10. Next question. What do you like about our COO? What do you think our COO could improve with? What do you not like about our COO? Yeah. And then we go down the whole management team. We do that. Now, what do you like about your future with Masters? What do you not like about your future with Masters? You know, you're getting into the hard questions. Do you like your pay? And if you do you think you're worth do you think you're worth your worth? You get to these questions. So when I first started coaching people on doing these, the first one, I never really coached them on what to say. The first one, I let them come up with their own questions. It's always softball, and I had a couple companies or every company almost, on the first survey they did, comes back to me and says, uh, "I don't believe everything this is said here." And I said, and we review the question like, "Well, yeah, you did a bunch of softball questions. Let's redo it. Let's redo it Let's find out what they really think. But we got to ask the right questions. And when we did, it's scary, but guess what? It's how you're going to find everything out. And by the way, you do it anonymously, and some of the questions, you kind of know who they are because you know your people, right? But, uh, but you're going to find out a whole lot. And so anyway, yes. So surround yourself with people who believe in your vision. So we talk about the employee survey. So now vision, if you hire a bunch of people who really don't care about advancing and all they want to do is just come to a job, well, that's fine and dandy if you're at a point where you just need someone to do the work. But if you're really trying to build a business and trying to build a culture, you want people that want to be better, that they live to be better. Now, we also have to find the people that are satisfied. And so one of the questions that I say that I bring up, it's been brought to light again, and I remember what I said when I do this is I ask people, and when we interview people, uh, I want to know how they really are. There's one question that you can say, and I might have said this in chat with Chad here recently, and I might even said it on Surefire last week, but it is on a scale of 0 to 1 or 0 to 10, 0 being the less lucky and 10 being your luckiest person in the world. How lucky do you feel you have been in your life, or how lucky do you feel you are? And it's hilarious the answers you get with this question. It's just hilarious. Um, 0 is a passing question. I would hire them if they said, I'm a Christian or on my religious beliefs is I don't believe in luck, and blah blah blah. Because it kind of gives you a neutral answer, but it does give you a question that you know, that they have thought about luck and they feel like they're a good Christian. So I would typically that would be a pass good in answer. If they answer 7 or above, I'm lucky and they have a nice outlook on life. I'm going to hire that person. I mean, all of their qualifications, obviously in consideration, but that's a big plus. They say they're a 5 or a 6. 6 is towing the line. Like, why do you feel you're a 6? And of course, you got to ask why they feel what they say, and then when they say 6, well, a 6 could pass if they said this. They could say, well, every time I go to the scratch off, I never win. Blah blah. But if they say something silly like that, and it's not really saying anything about okay, but you have someone else that says 6. Well, I never win anything. I'm a 6 just because every once in a while, but they just start talking negative. It's like, okay, well you're the bad 6, not a good 6. 5s and below, you're gonna hear a story about how something there it's never their fault. It's always someone else's issue. I'm never lucky. Blah blah blah. And those are the people you hire. It's just an easy way to just stop the interview. Ask one more question just so it doesn't look like that's the obvious, and then get them out of there. Stop wasting your time. So, all right, let's go to another one. When you focus on finding the right who, the how becomes much easier. Yeah, really. Because if you focus on the right who, you hired them because they know the how already. That's the whole idea, as I was trying to say earlier. The greatest ideas are often sparked through conversations with the right people. Well, if you don't go out and find more who's to talk to, maybe the people you're talking to now are never going to have the right answer for you. That's why you always should be looking for people who are smarter, trying to get into circles. I mean, now we're talking about another book, How to Win Friends and Out Influence People. Obviously, you read that book, that's all about getting, you know, trying to get into, groups ahead of you, trying to find people that are smarter than you. It's all about how to do that. And so that's another book. If you haven't read it, which most people have, but if you're new to business or new to advancing your business, that's a good book to read. All right. Obvious, you can achieve more when you stop trying to do it all alone. All right, this is a good one. Success is a team sport. Don't try to be the star player and the coach at the same time. So true. Um, and when it comes to being the coach, you got to be the coach on the sidelines, not a coach, in it. I mean, like drill instructors and like People that are in platoons in the military, they're supposed to be in it, right? They're supposed to be with their men, boots on the ground, and be there. However, the brass above them, where are they? They're coaching from the back lines. They're seeing the big picture and then doing the battles correctly. You run your business the same way, and if you don't, you got to get there, because believe it or not, the only battle most small businesses try to solve is sales and production. There's so much more. There's marketing, there's CSR, there's bills that you got to hack, you negotiate with vendors. There's so much to do that you could be doing to build the company, and it's amazing when you pull yourself out to do this other stuff, how you will grow your company faster by not working in it, being the coach. It's how I help everybody that works for me get the sales right, and then we start concentrating on them out of the field to run the company. Because once you got sales, sales fix everything, right? No, but it does. Good sales can mask a whole lot of stuff, but good sales can free you up time to be able to start building and concentrate in other areas. So sales is always first in my opinion. Mindset and then sales. The strength of your network depends on the scope of your success. Well, let's think about this one. The strength of your network determines the scope of your success. So that essentially means if you're the top dog in your mastermind or your mixed peer group, or you don't have one at all and you're the top dog to yourself in your own company, who do you talk to? Who is determining your success? You're only topped out to the people that you're surrounding yourself. So if you're the top person in your conversations, you're the top guy of everything you do, you're topped out of where you're ever going to go, because you're not going to learn how to do anything else until you figure it out in finding the who's that can do you to get you to learn. And that's so true. The strength of your network determines the scope of your success. It's so true. I mean, how much are you going to do when you don't know what you don't know? That's simple. All right. Your network is your net worth. Oh, this is a good one, guys. You ready? Don't limit yourself to what you can do. Focus on what can be accomplished through others. So lost in so many people. I can only go do so much. Well, you're right. But what could you do if you built the right team? What could you do if you hired the right people? You know, and I don't want to make the whole episode about bad apples, but because I just see it in all the companies I coach, they all essentially have a bad apple, or if they don't right now, they did have, and I don't suggest anyone fire anybody until I get to a certain point, and then it's like, why are we still talking about this guy? And things have to be done, but I mean, you totally limited, you know, uh, don't limit yourself to what you can do. Focus on what can be accomplished through others. So here we are, right back at the who you hire. I mean, focusing on others. If you are anal about doing everything yourself and you can't let go, well, you are trapped in your own misery of can't move forward accomplishments, because you pretty much pigeonholed yourself to stagnant. And so, but once you take the limitation off you and you start trusting in people to focus on what can be accomplished with other people helping you, the whole world changes. All right. Best leaders know how to delegate and leverage the strengths of their team. All right. This is a good one. Let me take a little drink. Parched. Okay. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. It's funny when people first start to come out and try to get help, they've done this big hurdle to finally ask for help. But then they have a problem with continue to ask for help. And uh or there's people that might be listening that never have asked for help. Asking for help is the stepping stone to resolving and repairing and building. Because there are other people who have been there and done what you did, and you can learn so much faster from them than you can if you just go try to solve it yourself. I'm the king. I wrote a book about it. I wrote a book about how much I got to $4 million and did so much wrong. So many times I had the wrong thing, and then we had to adjust it. Almost everything I did building master services up to about 2016, 17 was wrong first, and then we fixed it. And so I then finally started asking and seeking, you know, uh, and so Mike Bodart helped me. I don't know, and Lindemann you in 2017, 16, uh, about, I was struggling and I had to ask. I went up there and asked if I could speak with him before I went up there, and he said yes. He'd give me an hour in his office, and I just flat out, started just asking questions, and he's just started helping solve what I needed to have done. And he's the one that started us with camera inspections. We're not level really two really at the time, just camera inspections and folders and really set a process of me starting to really start working on my business before I even knew what that even really meant. Because I've always been an implementer, but that really was kind of the shift in me was that. And a shout out to Lindemann you, man. Yeah, the next time they have one, go. It's that awesome. And so, all right, the right people can help you overcome any obstacle. True. It's not about having all the answers, but surrounding yourself with those who do, or the people that can help you solve. So um, and that's why I said I knew that once you got to the first sitting, I started being a little redundant here. But success is a collective effort, not an individual achievement. Oh, I like that one. Collective effort. I mean, really, it solves so many things to so much faster as well, and it's easier. It's easier to have people help you. The more you invest in building a relationship, the more doors or opportunity will open for you. Why? Think about it like this. So you meet one person and that person knows, 20 people. Well, out of those 20 people, you'll probably meet four or five of them that you didn't know before. What are those four or five people collectively know now? If that person you met is elevated and someone who's gotten further in life and achieved more than you have, what does that one, three, or five people that you meet through him mean? Him alone was probably big. What is that person who you introduced to five, let's just say three people that he knows? And where does that take you? I'll give you the I'll give you the perfect example. It just happened in the last 24 hours. So Mike Fazy, see how how this guy is. He's awesome. Who, not how. Mike gives me a lead to help get more leads, and it's through next door. So I said, okay. Well, he tells me about it, and Mike tells me he's getting you know, on next door before he was getting, I don't know, anywhere from 3 to 5 a month leads from next door. Well, this guy has this system where you can get more leads and Mike says I signed up with him a week ago. We're getting 4 to 6 leads a day. And it's only so much amount of money. And I'm like, holy crap. So what did I do? I called the guy up last night, signed up. This morning we implemented it. We got 4 leads out of it today. And so I started. So here's the who, not how. I'm. I knew Mike. Mike knew this one guy. I've given him 5 referrals since 3 o'clock today. And so there you talk about who, not how. Hopefully to get everybody. If you want to get more leads, so I'm actually striking a deal to have a marketing company. If you want more leads in the market for chimney sweep leads, message me. I have the program to get you leads immediately. So anyway, let's go to Carol. Uh, she says, so if someone is trapped, someone in a business, how or what steps can be taken to start stepping towards that freedom? Obviously, delegating, but I think it goes all the way back to hiring and creating a plan. Start moving on oneself out of the trap position. Well, I mean, let's say, if someone is trapped and somewhat in well, that's just it. I mean, how many people do you have hired to get yourself untrapped? So obviously, you have to look at the tasks that you're doing and what tasks can I delegate, hopefully to people that are existing. And if not, then you've hired someone who can do something that someone can't do at your business to do it, to start taking tasks away from you before you know you have no tasks. You have to look at tasks as the way to get out of your business. So you have to figure out what you do and who else can do what I do and hopefully do it better. So hopefully you'll hire someone that's better at what you do, especially the tasks you hate doing. Like I used to freaking hate doing payroll. Every week I did payroll every Friday, and the guys walked in, I handed them a check with their payroll sheet for the week before. Hated it. Well, I think 16 years ago I brought David, my CFO, on. I haven't touched payroll in 16 years. Awesome. All right. And then Carol's so psyched about Nextdoor. She's one of them. She signed up. Great. Great. So no reason. Woo woo. So yeah, if you want more leads, I mean, literally, even though it's slowing down, uh, it, I'll talk to you about how to get on here and everything else, and through my organization, I'll be glad to help you get more leads. And so it's definitely not that expensive, so it's really nice to see. I'll talk about that in person. I haven't quite come. I'm still kind of working on how we're gonna do it and everything else. There's a couple different ways to do it. So anyway, let's get back to the who's and the nots and the hows. All right. The power of collaboration is often underestimated. Together, we can achieve more than we ever could alone. Sometimes you're the right person to keep like same thing. I'm kind of the waste of time trying to figure. Don't waste time trying to figure out everything out on your own. Tap into the knowledge of experts of others. So yeah, here we go. Success is directly proportionate to the caliber of people that you shall associate with, and working with talented individual implies your own abilities. Okay, working with talented individuals amplifies your own abilities. It does. All right, so I think we're kind of getting into the monotony here. The strong network can provide valuable guides, support, mentorship. Yeah. So I can't. They have now. We're at the last 15. There's like 15 of the same thing saying it different ways. And so I'm just going to kind of go through, make sure. Because I actually didn't look at the last five or six. The best way to solve a problem is find someone who's already solved it. That's kind of what I said earlier, but it's a little bit twist to kind of say the best way to solve a problem is find someone who has already solved it. Think about it. And so I hired my COO because I haven't broke 5 million. He has. He's done it twice. $16 million companies. He took from 3 million to 16 million. And so I hired a guy that has proved it, that's done it. So I've never done it. I hired a guy that has. Um, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Okay. Well, everybody, who not how tonight. It's been fun. And so um I I I kind of thought that if we look at the who not hows, we can start on a journey to help people really try to turn around their company and trying to figure out some different ways that maybe they could do it. Because a lot of people actually, believe it or not, have not read Who Not How, and I think it's a very strong book. It is requested or referred to a lot, but I want people to understand really. There's a lot of handcuffing in this industry by our technicians and salespeople that we have at the smaller company level, where you have one good technician and the guy's an asshole or the guy is whatever. And I mean, I just had a new company start with me today, and went through his org chart, and it was glaring that there's definitely some tenure uh tenure, what would you say, snobbiness or unionized type of thought process culture there. And so, which, hey, it's okay, we just got to figure out how to get their mindset right and what makes them click and move on, right, and manage it. Or what do we do? Find new people, find the who's. And so anyway, so guys, that's it. Now I'm gonna. Pretty much the end of the show tonight. I appreciate you guys all coming, but if you're interested chimney, the chimney closer is really gaining some traction. I really appreciate the companies that are on it, training their people on how to talk chimney, how to sell, how to have a little culture to it. You can go to chimneycloser.com. It's right up here, at the top of my thing here. Go there. You can sign up an appointment with me. I'll go show you the app personally and help you get into it and go from there. And so, guys, that's my time tonight. I'm going to get off a little early because, believe it or not, sitting down all day today, my back hurts. So I'm going to go lay down and watch a little Netflix. So, guys, thank you for your time. Next week, I hope to have a great show for you too. I'll figure out what the topic's going to be through the week on what's going on in my life, and hopefully, I'll bring you some value. So, if you want to talk about getting more leads, go ahead, message me. Let's see if you message me, and let's get you on a program to start getting you leads in the next 24 hours. So, all right, guys, it's my time. Good night.